Marriage is between a man and a woman. Till death. No, seriously. Number one, marriage is a covenant, not a contract. In this day and age, people treat marriage as if it's a contract, especially because of the legal ramifications. But really, marriage is between man and woman, husband and wife. That covenant is, well, till death. No, seriously. Number two, marriage is a lifelong commitment, not a free trial. When you want to try a new app, or you want to try Netflix, or I don't know, Hulu, whatever service you want to try, we're often given the option to do a trial run, a free trial. And that is to say, you know, our thing is so great, and if you're a little afraid of commitment or a little afraid of paying your money and then being stuck, you can try this for free. And if you don't like it, you can stop. Which, I mean, personally, I kind of love it, because who wants to pay hundreds of dollars and then realize you hate it? But that's not marriage. Marriage is a lifelong commitment. And I don't say that as a cliche thing, but I say it as, one, that's what God created for us. That is what the Bible tells us to do. But also, we say it in our vows. Even for the legal marriage that we do in court, we say it in our vows. We usually say, I take you, whoever you are, to be my wedded wife, my lawfully wedded wife, or to be my wife, whatever your version of it is. But it usually has this: for better or for worse, in sickness and health, and for richer or poorer, some rendition of that, until death do us part. Till the death. Seriously. So when we say until death, that means as long as we're alive, we're married. So if you have a spouse who is unfaithful, you can end your marriage biblically because they broke that covenant. Number three, marriage is work, not a wedding. I know. Sometimes people say marriage is work, but what I often see is people are excited about the wedding. Very excited about the wedding, and they plan, and they spend years planning, finding a venue, the right dress, the right vows, the right jewelry, the hair, the makeup, you name it. But in reality, we put too much work in, and they plan. The marriage, it often doesn't get the same preparation. It doesn't get the same hoopla and the same glitz and glam, because it's really work. But what makes marriages last is the work you put in before and during. And that looks like an array of things. But some of those things can include premarital counseling, pre-engagement counseling, personal time with the Lord, Bible studies, joining a service in your church, learning who you are in Christ, and then how that shapes your behavior. There's such a long list of things, and I can go on and on and on, but realistically, marriage is work. In order for you to live well and happily with your significant other, it actually requires you to sometimes forgive, sometimes let go of things, sometimes speak up and create conflict to solve a bigger conflict. Sometimes it's taking a back seat and listening even when you don't agree. All of that is work, because it challenges who we are, what we do, how we face life. Sometimes it challenges our beliefs. But that's why doing work on the front end will help with doing this work internally. It's also work on your finances. It's work on your emotions. All of those things, you have to bring them together. You have to manage them. You have to coordinate. And it doesn't sound sexy. That's not the fun part. The fun part is the double dates, the bay trips, the relationship goals, all the things we see on social media, and the things we sometimes even see in the church when marriage seminars are happening, and we're like, I can't wait for that to be me. I can't wait until I can get married so we can do that. And those things are fun. But the truth is, there's a lot of work. Number 4, marriage is a relationship with Christ and not a romantic relationship with a man. Now wait, you might think that's not real. It really one of the first things I said was marriage was created by God and therefore defined by him. And while it is first between a man and a woman, marriage is supposed to represent what Christ is to the church. Christ is the husband of the bride, the church. And by the church, by the way, it's you and it's me. It's not the building that we're accustomed to seeing as a church. The church, we are the church. We are the bride of Christ. And as a result, we must live out that relationship. What do I mean by that? Well, Christ loved the church the same way that a husband is supposed to love his wife. Christ loved us when we were a mess. Christ loved us when we couldn't love ourselves. Christ died for us, even when we didn't love him. So if you really think about it, marriage is supposed to mimic those things. That means sometimes you're loving your spouse even when you don't think they deserve it. Sometimes it means you're loving your spouse in spite of how you feel. Because Jesus died on the cross and he didn't feel good, and yet he did it for you and for me. Think about marriage as God intended it for believers and not how society has defined it. Peace.